Welcome to week 1 of our 6-week golf course. This workout is going to be focusing on exposing your bodies to certain ranges of motion that you will experience during golf. So when you go and take a golf lesson or go to golf, your body will know what to do once it gets into those positions. So we're going to be starting with a little hip warm up, then we'll go into a spine warm up, then we'll do some dynamic movements, either a kettlebell or a dumbbell, and then we'll finish off with a golf specific activity using a band. So our first exercise for today is just going to be pulling your knee to your chest. However, I don't just want you to focus on the knee that you're pulling. The leg that stays in contact with the ground, you're going to be driving into the ground. You don't necessarily have to come up into a calf raise, but you are going to have that intention of driving into the ground, lift your leg, and then we're just going to alternate. Feel free to do about 10 to 15 on each side. Following that activity, we're going to be doing some lunges, but the intention of this lunge is not to come down as far as you can. It's going to be all about stretching the front side of your hip. So you'll take a step forward, shift your weight so it's in your forward leg, primarily in the ball of your foot. You're going to squeeze the cheek of your trail leg and push your hips forward. Another thing to be aware about is don't push your belly button forward and allow your hips to drop down. Keep those hips tucked up, keep that cheek squeeze. You're going to come into this position, then you're going to drive into the ground and take a step. You can do this down a certain stretch or distance. However, you can also just come here, come up, and then come back. And we'll do about 10 to 15 on each side. The next hip activity that we're going to do is going to be some hip circles. So you're going to start by bringing one leg up, rotate, going from midline away from your center of mass, stepping. It's okay if your foot points in that direction, but when you come down, go ahead and bring that foot forward. From there, you're going to shift your weight over, and then you're going to bring that other leg in. We'll just go back and forth. Again, doing about 10 to 15 of each. Once you get through that, we're going to go ahead and find a wall. You're going to step forward with the leg that's furthest from the wall. And then you're going to have your hip and your rib cage against that wall. The arm that's closest to the wall, you're going to go ahead and bend. Here, you're going to reach on up. Make sure that your weight is shifted forward, so it's primarily in your forward leg. So if you had to, you could pick up your back foot without changing the loading mechanics of your forward leg. So if you find yourself with your weight equally distributed and you just think about lifting your back leg, you realize that you can't. At that point, you'll have to shift your weight forward and lift. So just go ahead and get into that position. All right, so next you're going to go ahead and slide your arm up the wall, really reaching, and then you're going to crunch on the side that's away from the wall. You're going to be crunching down, pulling your armpit down towards your forward hip, and really reaching up. From there, go ahead and breathe into the wall, feeling your chest expand against it, and then exhale and compress your rib cage on the side that's further away. Go ahead and take about 2 to 3 breaths. And then once you feel like you've gone through your end range, you go ahead, make a fist, and pull your arm down, crunching down towards the wall. On the exhale, then you'll come up. Inhale, and out. We'll do about 5 from here. Next, you're going to keep that same foot position. Go ahead and bring your hands together in front of you. Push into the wall with the entirety of your arm and press so your sternum rotates away from the wall, and the arm that's against the wall will rotate or slide slightly forward. From here, again, take 1 or 2 breaths. Pushing yourself further with each exhalation. Really maintain pressure under your big toe knuckle, and don't let your knee just come out. Next, you're gonna bring your hands back together. Inhaling when your hands are together. Exhaling as you press away and on the return. And then inhale again. Once you're back. We'll do about 3 to 5 repetitions of this. Next, you're gonna stay in this position. However, you're gonna slide your arms up. We're gonna do a rotation coming down and back. The biggest thing with this rotation is don't just let your belly button push forward and dump your hips. Stay nice and tight through your core, pulling that belly button in back towards your spine. Pull your ribs and your pelvis relatively close together. And inhale and exhale. Again, for the first repetition, take a few breaths, really going as far as you can, moving further with each exhalation. From there, you'll bring your hands back together. Inhaling when your hands are together, and exhaling as you open up. And our last one, you're gonna be coming down towards the ground. You'll feel kind of like you're in a golf stance, slight slouch through your low back. Trail leg cheek is squeezed. Your inhale, and now you're rotating. Come back and do your repetitions. Go ahead and ease out of that position, and then we'll be doing those same 4 activities on the other side. That'll consist of the reach and then the 3 rotations. Next, we're going to move into our strength training component. So with this, we're going to be doing a kettlebell swing, and then we'll get into some overhead cleans. Biggest thing with both of these activities is your arm will be relatively relaxed through the entirety of the motion. So first, we're going to go ahead and get into a staggered stance. I kind of like to put my feet together, find where they go and that yin and yang symbol, and then step out just in that same relative position. Next, you're going to go ahead and grab your resistance implement, whether it's a kettlebell, dumbbell, or anything else that you have, and stand on up. Keeping the weight, again, primarily in your forward leg. So if you had to pick up your back foot, it'd be relatively easy to do so. And the weight is distributed across the ball of your foot. Go ahead and push your hips back. We're going to start with your thumb pointed backwards and just allow that weight to swing back and forth. Shouldn't be very aggressive. You shouldn't be tight and thinking of moving the weight. You're just moving and letting that swing. Once you feel good with that rhythm, go ahead and start rotating. So your thumb points forward when it comes away from your body, and then points back as it comes closer. Next, you're gonna go ahead and add your hips in. So when that bell comes forward, just squeeze the cheeks and then come back down. You want a relatively same arc of motion when you go forward and back. We're not trying to lift this bell as high as you can and then stop it right here. Really allow that to pull you back through your legs and even allow your shoulders to rotate some as you come through. And we'll do about 10 to 15 on each side. Next, we're going to get into a clean. So with this, we're going to be working on the same lateral motion that we did when we were against the wall. However, this time you're going to be crunching towards that forward leg. So when we get whatever resistance you have up into this front rack position, weight is in that forward leg. And then lift your elbow, punch slightly forward, and then pull your armpit towards your forward pocket. However, try to keep your head relatively over your foot. So we don't want to compensate through your low back, and then your head's way on the outside of your base of support. We're really crunching through that rib cage and allowing the other side to extend. From here, driving into the ground, we're going to use the force you generate from the ground to lift this weight. So it shouldn't feel like your shoulder pressing it up. It should feel like you're punching up into the sky with most of that force coming from your legs. So when we come overhead, we're actually going to take a step with the opposite leg. So we're here, driving through the ground, just punching. Now your weight's on the opposite forward leg, and you're crunching down on the opposite side. And then as you lower, come back down. And we'll do about 10 to 15 on each side. So now we got through our strength training component. We're going to put it all together in a golf-specific activity with the band. So as we're doing this, it's really going to be a brain game. We're going to be trying to show or demonstrate to your body how to gain rotation from different joints. So this shouldn't be how you swing your golf club when you go in golf. Just go golf. Allow your body to do what it needs to. With this, it should be very intentional in trying to find where do you gain that rotation. So go ahead and attach a band somewhere above you. It can be on a rack. It can be in a door jamb. There's a lot of different bands. If you have a big flat one, you can tie a knot in it, put it through a door jamb. Or if you have something like this, put that through a door jamb or just attach it to something. So from here, you're going to go ahead and grab that band. Then you're going to walk out a little ways. Try to get that angle to a point where it's not going to come up and snap you in the face. So the further out you go, the lower that angle will get. So just be aware of that. And then you're going to rotate slightly away. So then that band wraps around your body. And then it'll give us an arc even as you go behind. From here, go down and get into your golf stance. So the first motion is going to be allowing your shoulder blades to move around your rib cage. So the anatomical structure you're going to be focusing on with this one is actually going to be your sternum. So as your arms move, your sternum is going to stay relatively forward. So first, the shoulder blades move on your rib cage. Now, without moving your knees or your hips, allow your spine to rotate, followed by allowing those hips to rotate. So the leg that's opposite the direction of rotation, you're going to go ahead and push that knee forward as you pull the knee back towards, or on the side that you're rotating towards. On the way forward, we're going to have a reverse order. You're going to first move through your hips, then your spine, and then your shoulder blades. So personally, as I'm going through this activity, I just like to count 1, 2, 3. 1 being shoulder blades moving on rib cage, 2, spine moving about your pelvis, and then 3, that rotation through your hips and your knees. And then on the return, we're going 3, 2, and 1. You can also pair your breath with this in that back position, especially on your first couple repetitions. Allow yourself to go through the sequence. At the end, take a shallow breath in. Exhale, let that band pull you further than you thought you could go. And when you come out of there, doing your 3, 2, and 1.